welcome to the Writing Corner, guys. Today we're going to continue talking about this series in which we discuss what are my steps to do to get my book published. So we talked about episode 0, which was kind of what to do at the beginning before I'm actually finished, what to do first once that book is finished, that manuscript is finished. So I talked about in episode 0 getting your editor and cover artist ready to go. So let's assume now that you have finished the manuscript, you've lined up an editor and a cover artist because you did that before the book was actually finished. You did the little clerical work of tracking somebody down, getting that information ready to go, and now you're good for those details, okay? Now, a lot of that is going to be some back and forth with your editor and your cover artist, okay? Now, with your cover artist, a lot of it will be, here's my initial idea, here's my concept, and you send it to them, and they send you something back, okay? Now, I'm assuming you're going to be going with an actual human being, not someone that's going to be, not just putting something in on ChatGPT or some other website where you're going to get an AI thing. I'm going to be assuming as a ethical person, as someone who is really trying to do this the right way. I'm going to steer clear personally of AI stuff because there's a lot of hot button topics and issues and people have with those things. So I personally am deciding to stick away from that because I don't want my name and my reputation and my brand suffering because of that. So I'm sticking clear of that. So I'm assuming you are going to go with a person. So you've hired an editor, you've hired a cover artist. With your cover artist, you send it to that person, you give them your concept, and they'll get back and forth with you. When I went with a smaller person, a smaller studio, for my first book series, a lot of it was back and forth. She would use stock imagery, and she would go back and forth and give me details on how do you like this mock-up. And she had different packages where you could purchase 1 edit, 2 edits, unlimited edits. For the first couple, I went with the unlimited because we were still getting to know each other. She might not, I didn't know what it was going to be like. So I went back and forth quite a few times. And I was really happy that for the first several books, I had unlimited revisions on that and edits on that. So I was able to make sure I had, we knew what we were going to go with and go forward, right? Now, that might be a little trickier for you. So like I said, if you want to go with a pre-made cover, you can find someone that will make pre-made covers. There's websites. I think one of them is literally just premadecovers.com. Just go there, find some cheaper ones if you are on a budget. Now, if you're going to go with something hand-drawn, that's going to be much more expensive. But if you have a big budget, that might be what you want to do, if that's the style you want to go with. I don't think you will ever regret investing in your cover, but I understand that some people they're not able to, right? I understand you don't have the money, you don't have the means of putting that much up for a cover. I understand that. But I don't think people that do invest hundreds or thousands of dollars into their covers will regret it, because especially if you have a really good cover, I think it'll come back to you at the end. I think you will find that the investment was worth it in the end. So I do recommend, if you have the means, go with something that you can afford, but go with something that looks good, okay? So, and the same thing with editor. Editor will probably be a little bit less hands-on because you're going to give them a document and then be waiting, okay? So a lot of that is going to be some kind of weights, right? So, and especially if you're going to go with multiple rounds of edits, if you're going to go with the developmental editor first to kind of clean up the story and make sure things line up right and your timeline makes sense and, little clerical issues and things like that, from a holistic story standpoint makes sense, right? You want to make sure that's done first. And then if you want to go with the second round of edits for your line editing, cleaning up grammar, cleaning up lines, make sure fluidity is good and it all seems really nice. Those things are a little bit more hands-off. But at the end, when you're finished, you're going to probably be doing a lot of rewriting and a lot of editing and a lot of cleaning up and going through those edits, and that can take a lot of time too. So that's why I said you want to have some of those things ready to go from the get-go so you're not doing those things again on the back end and having to delay launch date for those things. So that's going to be your next big step in getting that book ready to go. So going through those edits, cleaning up those things, and boom, going through those processes, okay? So that's going to be your next step in your writing journey, your publishing journey, really, and getting that book ready to go for publication, okay? So I hope this information is helpful for you guys. If you don't follow me, please follow below and join us in the Writing Corner for our next video where we continue talking about the publishing journey and what things you need to do to get that book ready for publication day, okay? Thanks so much. Hope you guys are enjoying this content. If you do, please follow us. Thanks so much.